journalists in politics, business, socio-economy, sports, and documentaries. So catch all the updates on the happenings around the globe. Stay focused on The Fact Today, only on ATN.
This is the Atlantic Television Network Global News. First, the headlines. Oko Jumbo-led Rivers Assembly heads to Supreme Court. Court fixes September 18 to decide Ganduje's fate. President Tinubu congratulated Prime Minister Keir Starmer. Nigeria to host a $5 billion African Energy Bank. New UK Prime Minister vows to rebuild. New UK Prime Minister vows to rebuild Britain. Ira Stars speaks of relocating to UK. Super Eagles begin a away trip to Libya. A very pleasant evening to you, and thank you for joining us on the Global News on Atlantic Television Network. I am Angel Ngukoma, and now the details of the stories. Victor Oko Jumbo-led Rivers State House of Assembly says it has filed an appeal at the Supreme Court to challenge the judgment of the appellate court delivered on Wednesday in Abuja. Okojumbo said this in a statement issued in Port Harcourt on Friday by the factional clerk of the House, Dr. G.M. Gillis West, and sent to newsmen. Okojumbo said he believes that the Court of Appeal was in error when it held that the Rivers High Court lacked the jurisdiction to hear and determine the suit. But the Court of Appeal, Abuja, had nullified the expulsion of Martin Amehule and 24 orders from the Rivers State House of Assembly by the Rivers State High Court, allowing the appeal by Martin Amehule and 24 orders on the ground that the Rivers State Court lacked the jurisdiction to hear and determine the case. Accordingly, the Court of Appeal struck out suit. Political experts says it is only the Federal High Court that is saddled with the constitutional responsibility to decide whether or not on issues concerning Rivers State House of Assembly. Speaking on Atlantic Television Open Conversation, a political expert, Living Gift in Jamala, expresses view.
Or last hope for the common man is the judiciary. Therefore, if an issue is before you, and you go through the processes filed before you, the court can only so sumo to come out and say, look, address me on jurisdiction. I feel I lack jurisdiction on this matter. Can you address me?
Meanwhile, Asim Adams posted on the contrary as regard to the aspect of jurisdiction on the matter.
Or last hope for the common man is the judiciary. Therefore, if an issue is before you, and you go through the processes filed before you, the court can only so sumo to come out and say, look, address me on jurisdiction. I feel I lack jurisdiction on this matter. Can you address me?
But that's the point I said.
That's what I'm saying. He has that option, but he did not avail the parties in this particular suit that was, discountenance yesterday by the Court of Appeal of these options that were left to him. He went ahead to enter into the arena.
Recall that the Court of Appeal sitting in Abuja has vacated the order that sacked 25 members of the Rivers State House of Assembly who defected to the ruling of All Progressive Congress APC. Bayelsa State High Court sitting in Yenagoa, the state capital, has sentenced 2 persons to 5 years imprisonment for conspiracy, armed robbery, and unlawful possession of firearms. Believe Leisure 36 and Jacob Dakubo 42 in the street were arrested by the police on December 24, 2022 along Shangana Creek in Brass, Leku government area of the state. Police Counsel Stella Jerry Friday said that we are arraigned on charges of conspiracy to commit felony and armed robbery, which are punishable under Section 12A of the Robbery and Firearms Special Provision Act, capped R11, Laws of the Federation of Nigeria 2004. She told the court that the Believe Leisure, Jacob Dakubo, and 3 others at large on the 24th day of December 2022 at about 6:00 hours at Shagana, Akasa in Brass local government area of Bayelsa State, while armed with 1 single barrel gun and 2 machetes, attacked 1 Jumbo New Year and 1 Jackson Sanem yet unknown and robbed them of a 30 horsepower Suzuki outboard engine valued at 600,000 naira only. The prosecution counsel also told the court that after diligent investigation by the police, the duo were arrested and later remanded in custody. The Kubo was present in court for his sentencing, but Leisure had died while awaiting trial at the Nigerian Correctional Center, Okaka, Yenagua. The presiding judge, T.Y. Abasa, in declaring judgment, said the court found the accused guilty on 3 counts and then sentenced them to 5 years imprisonment. There was pandemonium on Friday in commercial city of Ughelli, Delta State, when suspected armed robbers attacked a customer at the premises of United Bank of Africa. ATN gathered that the gunmen had traced the unidentified customer to the bank premises and shot sporadically before attacking their targets. The customer was yet to enter inside the banking hall when the gunmen struck and made away with 3 Ghana must-go bets containing money. It was gathered that the bank private security guard and 2 others were shot by the gunmen who arrived at the bank premises with a Toyota Venza. The gunmen, said to be numbering 5, were armed with sophisticated ammunition and operated unchallenged before leaving the bank premises. The incident caused panic among customers and residents of Isoko Road in Ughelli. Meanwhile, efforts to contact the State Police Command proves abortive at present time. Cross River State government has said it is taking steps towards containing the impact of any eventual flooding in the state. Cross River Commissioner for Environment Moses Osoge stated this following predictions by the Nigerian Meteorological Agency. Osoge told newsmen in Calabar on Friday that the plan followed the 2024 prediction by the Nigerian Meteorological Agency NIMET, which listed the state as flood-prone. He said that the state government had made arrangements towards reducing the impact of flooding in the state during the year. The commissioner said that although flooding was a natural occurrence, the location of crops made it prone to such occurrence. Osoge warned residents of the state against erecting structures on waterways, saying that the state government would prosecute anyone found flouting the order. The State Ministry of Environment, Umahia, has suspended with immediate effect all service providers, companies, and revenue collection agents working for the ministry until further notice. In a statement signed by the Commissioner for Environment, Fieldman Obonna, said the ministry observed that some persons and companies who did not have government approval to collect revenue have been parading as authentic agents. Obonna directed any person and companies claiming to provide a service or collect revenues for the ministry to report to the ministry for verification and validation of previous approvals of the activities. No fewer than 400 ghost workers have been identified as receiving salaries in the Anambra State Local Government Civil Service Commission, it was gathered that out of number 59 are deceased, 5 are living abroad, and 40 are pensioners still drawing salaries. Additionally, several individuals are involved in certificate fraud, with investigations completed on 6 cases so far. This was disclosed on Friday in Oka by the chairman of the commission, V.N. Ezeka, who is also a legal practitioner. Ezeka revealed that the ghost workers were discovered across the 21 local government areas in the state. The investigation aimed to sanitize the local government system. Briefing the press, Ezeka detailed that out of 427 ghost workers uncovered, 59 were disease staff receiving salaries, 2 were retired yet still on the payroll, and 5 were still living abroad but still listed as active employees. Lagos State Police Command has said that a yet-to-be-identified 61-year-old man has lost his life after being electrocuted during the flood incident. The command spokesperson, SP Benjamin Hardin, confirmed the death in a post shared on his X handle. He said that the incident happened on Wednesday during a downpour in the Orile-Egamo area of the state. Hardin urged the public to always stay safe. Lagos State Police Command has successfully thwarted a planned kidnapping of high net worth individuals in the Ladipo area. Acting on credible intelligence, the police laid an ambush for the kidnappers, which resulted to a deadly shootout on. The operation, directed by the Commissioner of Police, Adegoke Fayode, began 2 weeks ago when intelligence report indicated the imminent threat. The police tactical teams monitored the gang closely and prepared to intercept them on the anticipated day of the attack. During the confrontation, 9 kidnappers were neutralized, while 2 others escaped with gunshot wounds. The police recovered a cache of weapons, including 4 AK-47 rifles, 4 locally made pistols, 9 AK-47 magazines, 3 walkie-talkies, a POS machine, and a loudspeaker. And the gang's operational vehicles, a black Toyota 4Runner and a blue Lexus RS350, were seized. Lagos State Tax Force also has vowed to clamp down on commercial bus drivers disposed to parking illegally along the roads of the Lagos metropolis. Chairman of the agency, CSP Adetayo Akerele, declared the result to sanitize the roads of Lagos, warning perpetrators of illegal parking to desist. Akerele issued the warning on Friday during an enforcement for compliance exercise he led at Adeniji Adele and adjoining roads to rid the axis of traffic gridlock and criminal activities caused by illegal operators of bus parks and bus stops along that axis. Akerele, who said that the traffic phenomenon is not natural, stated that activities of commercial motor operators along that route had been going on for too long, therefore it was time to put an end to it. The task force chairman described the activities of commercial bus drivers' downfall as worrisome due to long hours of traffic obstruction caused by their actions, which has a devastating effect on motorists and Lagosians as a whole. 30-year-old man Olani Sunday was remanded on Friday in a correctional center on the order of an Ado-Ekiti Chief Magistrate Court for allegedly raping a minor. The defendant, whose address was not provided, is facing a lone charge of alleged rape. Police prosecutor Inspector Sadiq Adeniyi told the court that the defendant allegedly committed the offense of raping a 12-year-old girl between April and June at Araromi in Omuo, Ekiti. Adeniyi said that the defendant, a neighbor to the victim, saw her stealing meat in another neighbor's pot and threatened to expose her, but on the condition that he has sex with her. He said that the victim did not accept the condition until she was raped in the process. The prosecutor urged the court to remand the defendant pending the issuance of legal advice from the Office of the Director of Public Prosecution, DPP. The plea of the defendant was, however, not taken. Chief Magistrate Dolamo Baba Lobo ordered the remand of the defendant in the correctional center pending the release of the legal advice. She subsequently adjourned the case till August 7 for mention. Controller of Nigeria Customs Service Ogun 2 Area Command Controller Olushola Alade on Friday said that the command generated a total sum of 12 billion naira as revenue between January and June 2024. Alade said that this is compared to the sum of 8 billion naira generated during the same period last year. He disclosed that the revenue generated within this period when compared with that of last year showed a significant 5% differential of 4 billion naira. This is just as the command has equally discovered 11 factories and one bonded terminal that have not been remitting taxes to the federal government. He, however, said that requisite steps have now been taken to ensure that such factories begin to fulfill their financial obligation to the federal government. Alade disclosed on Friday at a press briefing held at the command's office at Abeokuta. Osun State Governor Ademola Adeleke has declared Monday, July 8, 2024 as public holiday to commemorate the new Islamic year, Hijra of 1446. A statement issued by the Commissioner for Home Affairs, Mr. Rashid, which was published in the Ministry of Information Bulletin on Friday, stated that the holiday is to allow Muslims in the state celebrate the new Islamic year. The statement added that Governor Ademola Adeleke would preside over a special parade march section as part of the activities to celebrate the new year. While wishing Muslims a happy celebration, the governor them to use the parade to pray for the unity and peaceful development of the state and Nigeria in general. And the state government says it has taken proactive steps to prevent flooding across the 18 local government areas in the state by adhering to the warnings by NEMA and NIMET. Among the preventive measures to combat flooding was the deployment of excavators to dredge canals, the silting of drains, and channelization of waterways to ensure the free flow of water during rainy season. In Akure, an amphibious excavator was deployed to Odiolowo to commence dredging of canals from Aladetoyimbo, Odiolowo to Danjuma areas. The excavator would also be deployed to the Adebola Ehin Ala axis of Akure. Under Commissioner for Local Government and Chieftaincy Affairs, Hamidu Takuro said Governor Lucky Aidatiwa has issued a marching order for all drains to be desilted. Takuro said the governor directed that road verges be made in areas where wheat have taken over parts of the roads across the state. An international rights organization, Global Rights, has joined its counterpart to call on the management of the University of Ibadan to have a rethink over the purported plan to expel protesting students. The management of UI in June invited 3 students, namely Aduwo Ayodele, Olamide, and Nice Linus, for questioning over their participation in a peaceful protest against increment in fees at the school. In a statement, program officer in charge of civic space and press reports say the devil-armed men on Friday unleashed mayhem on a man coming out of a new generation bank, disposed him a yet to be ascertained sum of money, and shot him severally in Lokoja, Kogi State capital. Eyewitness accounts stated that the armed robbers may have been trailing him from the bank up to phase 2, Lokongo right in front of the markets, where they double-crossed his car, dragged him out, pumped several bullets on him, and took him away his bag full of money, which he had earlier withdrawn from the bank. Our correspondent gathered that the victim was still breathing at the time he was shot, but later died as a result of the gunshots. Effort to gather state police command to react to the development have not been successful, as neither the commissioner of police nor the police public relations officer picked up their calls. Kogi State House of Assembly has extended the tenure of Transition Committee Chairman by another 6 months. This was the resolution of the Harlow Chamber during the House plenary on Friday. The extension of the tenure of the Transition Committee Chairman is sequel to a letter sent to the House by Kogi State Governor Ahmed Usman Ododo. Governor Ododo in the letter posted that the paucity of funds and the State Assembly, Umar Yusuf, who read the letter, charged the Transition Committee Chairman to be good ambassadors of their respective local governments. Etienne gathered that the tenure of the 21 Transition Committee Chairman in Kogi State is expected to expire on the 8th of July 2024. Following the approval by the House, the Transition Committee Chairmen are now expected to vacate their offices on 8th January 2025, when the local government election will be duly conducted. Honorable Minister of FCT, Barrister Area Council, the minister promises to deliver the project in 1 year. Abuja correspondent Joseph Moses Mayuwinka complete the report.
The Honorable Minister of FCT, Barrister Enson Wike, has reassured the residents of Kwaita Kwali Area Council never to worry about the completion of the Kwaita February Road reconstruction project, saying that his promises are promises made, promises fulfilled. The minister said this at the flag-off event which took place at the project site in Kwaita Kwali Area Council, giving full assurance of the availability of funds for the road project, directing the contractor to ensure delivery of the project in 12 months as against the 18th month originally stated for the completion of the project, adding that the FCTA will soon commence the rehabilitation of schools across the 6 area councils.
When people are happy, government is happy, you know. Are you happy? Are you happy? Do you love Mr. President? You believe in the New Hope agenda? The traditional ruler, when he was speaking, he consistently said, if. There is no if the road will be completed. Nothing can be disappointing. Nothing can be painful when the government makes a promise to the people and the people are not happy that government cannot fulfill that promise. And so for us, it will be promise made and promise fulfilled. So we insisted in this 2024 budget, and we provided more than 50% of the cost of the project. I don't see the reason, I don't even know why they told the contractor 18 months. Is it because of payment? Very soon, we'll start to flag off another round of rehabilitation of our schools. We've already started about 19 schools, by the grace of God, before the end of August. We'll take up another round of 19 or 20 schools.
In his welcome address, the chairman of Kwali Area Council, Honorable Danladi Chia, on behalf of the residents of Kwali, appreciated the minister for all the projects initiated in Kwali, which he said has made the council the envy of all, while the Esu Kwali His Royal Highness Luka Ayedo stressed that the event symbolizes the restoration of hope to the people of Kwali and commended the minister for embarking on the road project, which he said was first awarded.
Nothing has happened. You can see the smiles on our faces. Look at this crowd. I want to sincerely thank you from the depth of my heart. I'm overwhelmed with the all support, the good people of the good friends of the honorable ministers, our brothers from Rivers that are always with our Oga. We don't know what to tell you people. We are so much grateful. for taking her time to follow Oga all through this commission. Indeed, we are honored and we are glad.
This time around, you are not commissioning a project. You are restoring a hope, a lost hope for that matter. 2005, the same road was awarded for construction to Aden Engineering PLC. They were mobilized to site and worked for 3 years, left site again. After much appeal, agitations, and even petitions to the National Assembly, they returned back to site in 2012, but left the site on assumption again. The people you see around here lost hope. They never believed that any administration would do this work again. We want to thank you for listing this job among the plethora of jobs you want to do for the people of FCT.
Joseph Moses, 18 News, Abuja.
Two men were on Friday arraigned in a Wuse magistrate court for allegedly defrauding a woman of 2.12 million naira. The police charged the duo of Henry Alobo and Edward David, who reside in Abuja, with criminal conspiracy and criminal breach of trust and cheating. The defendants, however, pleaded not guilty to the charge preferred against them. The prosecution counsel, Mr. E.A. Namani, told the court that the complainant Chidima Uboche reported the matter at the Gariki police station, Abuja. He said sometime in February, the defendant conspired and deceived the complainant into collecting the sum of 2,150,000 naira from her, promising to secure a Qatar and Israel working visa for her, but failed. He alleged that the defendants instead converted the money into their own personal use. He said the offense contravened the provisions of Section 97 and 312 of the Penal Code. The judge, Choma Amanwachi, admitted that the defendant Bell and Chura. She adjourned the case until August 19 for a hearing. Federal Capital Territory Police Command has refuted a claim alleging that operatives of the command tortured one Erasmus to death in Nyanya Police Station. Erasmus' mother made the allegation on Tuesday when she appeared on the Bracket, a family radio and television program in Abuja. According to her, Erasmus, who died at the Nyanya Police Station on April 6, 2023, was arrested alongside other residents during a raid following the murder of a young lady. She claimed that while other suspects were released on bail after a few hours in custody, the police refused to free her son, adding that she was denied access to see Erasmus until she learned that the son had died in the station. She further claimed that an autopsy, which was later conducted on Erasmus' remains, revealed that her son died as a result of injuries sustained from the alleged torture. However, a statement issued by the FCT Police Public Relations Officer, SP Josephine Nadi, debunked the allegations, stressing that the unfortunate incident was diligently investigated and the deceased was not tortured to death. According to the PPRO, discreet investigations were conducted to determine the remote and immediate cause of death of the deceased, with an autopsy was carried out, which confirmed that the deceased was not tortured to death as alleged. The command called on all interested parties who wish to know the outcome of the autopsy report and investigations to visit its headquarters in Gariki, Abuja, through the office of the PPRO. Operatives of the Bauchi State Police Command have arrested 3 men across the state for child abuse and rape offences. when Abubakar Nuhu, age 50, popularly known as Wanzam of Gwanlaga, Mayanka, was arrested for inhumanly treating his biological son, according to a statement issued by the State Police Public Relations Officer Ahmed Wakil. The command received a complaint from the ward head of the Gwalangan Makaya area of Bauchi that the residents of the ward revealed that his wife Amina, not real name, who informed him that she saw a 5-year-old boy of their neighbors tied with a chain inside a room. The State Police PPRO added that the Commissioner of Police, Awal Mohammed, had directed the divisional police officer to apprehend the offender for investigation and prosecution for the established offense. According to the defendant, he claimed to have confined the minor to restrict him from stealing their neighbors' valuables, and he was advised to do so by a friend. KB Governor Nasir Idris has declared Monday as a public holiday to mark the beginning of the new Islamic calendar, first Muharram 1446 AH. Alhaji Awal Manu Dogon Daji, the State Commissioner for Establishment, said this in a statement in Brenin Kebbi on Friday. According to him, the of Muharram is on a Sunday. Due to the importance of the Islamic New Year, the government decided to shift the public holiday to Monday. Manu Dogondaji congratulated the Muslim Ummah on the advent of the new Islamic calendar, urging the Muslims to sustain fervent prayers for peace, security, and prosperity of Kebbi and the nation as a whole. Nigerian Customs Service has seized 11,650 liters of petroleum motor spirit, popularly called PMS, as part of its continued efforts to get rid of illegal smuggling of goods across the country. Controller of the command, Ihanacho NS Ojike, told newsmen on Thursday in Brenim Kebbi that the command also recovered 40 cartons of foreign spaghetti, 50 barrels of second-hand clothing, 28 cartons of diclofenac tablets of 50 mg, and 10 jerrycans of vegetable oil. The total duty paid value of 14,792,400 naira. He stated that the seized PMS would be auctioned to the public with the expectation of generating 8,178,183 and would be paid to the coffers of the federal government. He explained that the team was able to generate 25,847,611 naira in June, which is a 67.6% increase as compared to the previous month of May. Meanwhile, the controller of the National Coordinator Operation Will Wind Hussein Ejibuno, in a separate briefing in Brenin Kebbi, said a joint strike was made by operatives of Operation Whirlwind Zone D axis with the seizures of PMS products in Sokoto Area Command. He urged members of the cartel to rethink and go into legitimate businesses, saying the Nigerian Customs Service will go after them as economic saboteurs, as there is no place for their illegal activities. Governor of Kaduna State, Ubasani, has approved the state climate change policy, which provides a comprehensive framework to address the impact of climate change and aligns with the national and international climate goals. This is contained in a statement issued by the Chief Press Secretary to the Governor, Mr. Muhammad Shehu, on Friday in Kaduna. The governor said that the policy will focus on public education, monitoring systems, and sustainable development initiatives to prepare the state for future climate challenges. The governor also approved the introduction of human resources for health policy aimed to address gaps in the health workforce in the state. The human resources for health policy, the governor said, will serve as a framework to ensure the right number and mix of competent, motivated, and equitably distributed health workers for optimal health care service delivery. Its strategic objectives, he noted, include maintaining an adequate number of qualified health workers and managing employment, deployment, retention, and performance effectively. Heavy downpour in Gusau, the state capital of Zamfara State, has once again disrupted commercial activities for residents, preventing traders, workers, and students from moving around. ATN gathered that the heavy rain, which began in the early hours of Friday, lasted for several hours, leading to serious flooding on several roads and affecting many farmlands. Many people were seen bailing water out of their houses as the floods hindered movement of both people and vehicles. Traders in Gusau could not open their shops as usual due to the impact of the heavy downpour, and students were unable to attend school. However, the state government has yet to issue a statement regarding the recent flooding in Gusau. It could be recalled that 3 days ago, heavy rainfall caused flooding that destroyed numerous properties and blocked roads, especially in the Gengari-Megemu area of Gusau. You're watching the Global News on Atlantic Television Network. We'll be back after this short break. Please stay tuned.
From the line across the ocean to the land beyond the mountains, through the Sahara, we bring all sport news, live analysis, expert discussions on trending stories in politics, business, socio-economy, sports, and documentaries. So catch all the updates on the happenings around the globe. Stay focused on the fact today, only on ATN.
We're glad to welcome you back. This is the Global News on Atlantic Television Network, and now the rest of our stories. President Bola Tinubu on Friday congratulated Sakir Starmer, the leader of the Labour Party, on the victory of his party in the United Kingdom general election. Starmer emerged winner of the UK general election and is set to become the next Prime Minister of the country. Rishi Sunak, the outgoing Conservative Prime Minister who has already conceded defeat, said he will step down as leader of the Conservative Party before tendering his resignation later to the King. Ajuri Ngalale, special advisor to the President, Media and Publicity, said in a statement that as a former leader of the opposition in Nigeria, Tinubu noted that the determination and courage demonstrated by Starmer throughout his years in the opposition and as the leader of the Labour Party. The president said that he looked forward to deepening relations between Nigeria and the United Kingdom in mutual areas of interest, in strengthening democratic institutions as well as in building a safer and more prosperous future for the people of both countries. Nigerian Senate has begun plans to investigate transactions in the Mambila hydroelectric power project from 1999 to date. The upper chamber also established an ad hoc committee to investigate the transactions of the hydroelectric in Mambila. Correspondent Rotimi Adewuyi completes the report.
The Nigerian Senate on Thursday stated its resolve to investigate the transaction of the Mambila hydropower project from 1999 to date. The resolutions were adopted after a motion moved by Senator Manu Haruna, representing Taraba Central, on the urgent need to address the challenges of commencing the Mambila power project. Senator Manu Haruna, in his motion, highlighted the failure of previous administration to prioritize the national project, which its capacity to generate over 3,000 megawatts of electricity is paramount. He recommended that the Ministry of Finance, as well as its Senate Committee on Finance, take the project as a legacy project.
Resolved, urge the Senate Committee on Finance in collaboration with the Federal Ministry of Finance, to include the Mambila hydroelectric project funding as part of the legacy project, and the 15% counterpart funding, which is 868,800,000 USD, to be funded from the Renewed Hope Infrastructural Development Funds. I so move.
In their contributions, senators asserted that the Mambila Hydro project is non-existent, describing it as a dubious process.
If and when you visit Mambila, and I think it's only then that we will understand and appreciate what as a country we are losing. Beyond the 3,050 megawatts, even the nature of Mambila, the tourism that to attract to Mambila, the agricultural opportunities in Mambila are beyond anybody's imagination. For any government to have priority in Nigeria, I believe that Mambila Hydro project should be that #1 priority in terms of infrastructural development.
The first is that injecting 3,000 megawatts of electricity into our national grid will greatly boost the epileptic power supply. And secondly, considering the fact that we should begin to look at a better energy mix, hydroelectric power supply falls under the clean energy that the whole world is actually trying to promote. Especially yesterday, we actually raised concerns on the adulterated diesel that is being imported. So if we actually are concerned about climate change and about our environment, then we all need to support this motion in consideration of the fact that we need to look at a healthier means of energy supply.
Mr. President, sir, this issue has nothing to do with any part of Nigeria. Whether north, east, northwest, it's about Nigeria. And the word is unanimous that there are two key drivers in modern society. First, skilling your people through appropriate education. The other is power. Every time we have had debate in these chambers, we speak to the use of technology. These technologies are power-driven.
The Senate further directs its Committee on Finance, Power, Water Resources and Appropriation to investigate the circumstances surrounding the Mambila Power Project. They were given 4 weeks to report back to the Senate for further input. Rotimi Adewoye, ATN News, Abuja.
House of Representatives has commenced probing 1.5 billion naira meant for the payment of contractors, but allegedly diverted by principal officers of Ministry of Women Affairs and Social Development. Indeed, the Director of Finance of Ministry, Aloy Ife, during an interactive section with the House Committee on Women Affairs, said he only complied with official directives from his superiors, saying the records are available. The investigation followed petition by contractors of the ministry to the House of Reps over non-payment of contracts executed running into billions of naira. Speaking during the interactive section, Chairman of the committee, Honorable Khaliflad Obara, alluded that the ministry initiated new contracts not captured in the 2023 budget and diverted, being funds for old contractors. Other members of the committee added that the ministry, while owing contractors, awarded fresh contracts in 15 states of the Federation, similarly not captured in the 2023 appropriation.
Because you are saying 98.9%, 99.8% of utilization. So let's approximately 100% of funds released. Why are the contractors not paid their monies? What happened? That's the question he's asking. And before we go there, please hold that thought. Are the contractors here? The petitioners, please stand up. Let's see you. We are going to put you on oath before you go further.
Thank you, Chair.
Because all we want here is the truth and nothing but the truth. We are all Nigerians. We don't have any other country. The odd man sitting beside you there, irrespective of his tribe, is your brother. And that's the way it should be. You know the answer and you refused to answer until the procurement officer answered. And you know the truth. He has confirmed it that everything they said is true. They have worked, they have delivered, and you have refused to pay them. And the monies for their payment has been allocated from the Accountant General's office. Where is their money? This is the question we are asking you. We are going to put you on oath before you go further. And anything you say that is not the truth henceforth will be held against you and it will be criminal. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Chair.
Responding to some of the allegations, the Permanent Secretary of the Ministry, Ambassador Gabriel Aduda, who exonerated himself, explained that in 2023 we had total budget of 13.6 billion, total release of 6.4 billion naira, translating to 25% budget utilization, 3.4 billion naira, while unreleased balance stood at 10.2 billion naira. However, the DFA said he resumed the ministry in September 2023, and he said, "I wouldn't know what happened before I came."
And let me also begin by placing on record, as some of you have graciously said, that I resumed in Ministry of Women Affairs February 2024. However, I have with me today directors that were in office when these expenditures were made or when these releases were made and how they were spent. The DFA is here, the procurement team is here, and as such we believe that we should be able to tackle some of these questions to the best of our ability. I will want to call on the DFA, Mr. Aloy Fiakandu, to answer the question that has just been raised, who was here then, and of course, who graciously has been leading the teams to ICPC.
Okay. All the things they said, is it true or not? Yes or no?
I wouldn't know, but I will say what I know here.
These contractors, what they have said, is it true that they did? No, you are going to answer my question first. Yeah. Is it true or not, all those things they have said, the contractors, that they did their jobs and they were not paid? Is it true?
I'm only a DFA, I'm not the procurement man.
Where is the procurement man? Where is the procurement man?
The project, the contractor are right. Yes. They've done their work, they are not being paid.
Meanwhile, the committee has summoned the Minister of Women Affairs and Social Development, Uju Kennedy Ohanenye, to appear on Tuesday. The committee also ordered ministries to stop all contract process in 2024 until we resolve this matter. The Speaker of the House of Representatives, Tajuddin Arbus, has observed that the North has the highest share of the 17 million housing deficit in the country. The Speaker stated this while speaking at the closing of the Made in Kaduna International Housing Exhibition on Thursday, saying that the provision of housing for all citizens is a fundamental right, and appealed to government at all levels to promote affordable housing initiatives to cater to the homeless. The Speaker, who was represented by the Chairman House Committee on Housing and Habitat, Abdulmini Jibril, remarked viable data shows that Nigeria has a housing deficit of 70 million housing units in urban centers, and northern Nigeria has a larger share of this deficit. He noted that it makes it imperative for Nigerians to find innovative and sustainable means of closing the huge gap in the provision of shelter to the people. The Speaker of the House of Reps, Abbas Tajuddin, has assured that 10th House of Reps under his leadership is taking steps aimed at
before we proceed, we'd like to invite
for local government in Nigeria. The Speaker hosted that these are the 2 days of the ongoing Open Week celebration to mark the first anniversary of the 10th House, said that it is in furtherance of the objectives that the House constituted 2 special standing committees to drive the process of actualizing constitutional autonomy for local government, as well as granting recognition to traditional institutions in Nigeria.
several attempts have been made in the past to include traditional rulers during our constitutional amendment processes, but they never saw the light of the day. And because most of us in the House we honestly believe that traditional institutions can add value to our societies. We honestly believe that the progress of our people will be more enhanced with a better role for the traditional institutions. We believe the security of our country will be more enhanced if the traditional institutions are given better role. And that's the reason from the onset we decided to create two standing committees in the House. One of them is Committee on Traditional Institutions, and it is largely and primarily to drive the process of giving legal recognition to the traditional institutions in this coming constitutional conference, amendment conference. The second one is Committee on State and Local Governments, because we believe that if we really want to go far in our constitutional amendment processes, state governments, state institutions like the State House of Assemblies, local government councils, and their local government councillors will have to be taken into consideration.
Speaker Abrams added that if we must make headway with the ongoing constitution amendment, state government, state house of assembly, local government councils and their councillors must be considered if the country must make headway. Disclosed that the House decided that another committee dealing with the issues of state and local governments should come on board. Contributing to the conversation is panelists were traditional rulers led by the Etsu Nupe Alhaji Aya Abubakar, the chairman Niger State Council of Traditional Rulers, who recall the historical background of traditional institutions in Nigeria. He added that during the colonial era, the traditional institutions was already established, which was why the colonialists went through the institutions to administer their rules.
Traditional institutions are important. They are actually critical in the resolution of our security challenges in this country. That, for me, is a given. There is no dispute about that. So how much can they do, given the current legislative framework upon which they operate? Because they exist as a legal entity, they exist on the basis of a framework which prescribes what they can do, who they are, and where they can function. All of those have been delineated by laws. And some of these laws upon which these institutions are dedicated today are archaic.
The statistics we have shown that since 2011, over 103 traditional rulers have died or been killed in their domain as a result of the crisis we have in Nigeria. These men and women who do this thankless job, I call this job thankless because the role of traditional rulers in Nigeria has not been defined. We were colonized by the British, and up to today, the British government has a defined role for their traditional rulers in Britain.
Today, the office of the governor can remove any traditional ruler. Who makes a traditional ruler? It is the kingmakers that makes a traditional ruler. Giving room to office of a governor to remove traditional ruler at will is bad and condemnable. Therefore, there should be constitutional provision to protect a traditional ruler installed.
They are close to the grassroots. They operate in all the nooks and crannies of Nigeria. Let's take a look at the insecurity issue, which is ravaging the entire system. No area is spared. If you don't engage and empower the traditional institutions in all our places, in all our states, in all our local government, in all our wards, it is going to be difficult to manage the insecurity thing.
Also making case for traditional institutions having constitutional roles, and there is the association represented by the President, Yakubu Meikau, who urged the leadership of the 10th National Assembly to revisit all legal and legislative encumbrances hindering the realization of full potential of traditional institutions in the country. He commended the Speaker for championing the cause of returning traditional institutions to their glory days by carving roles for them in the Constitution, free from the overbearing influence of political electors. He noted that for such roles to be effective and sustainable, the Constitution must also take care of the issue of job security for the traditional rulers whom he said are currently at the mercy of politicians. Other panelists representing traditional institutions, substitutions from various parts of the country, as well as members of the House, also made case for the constitutional recognition of traditional institutions for the purpose of complementing government efforts towards maintaining peace and security. They specifically highlighted the need to create line items in the budget with a view to fighters of traditional rulers and their various domains towards fighting insecurity and promoting peaceful coexistence among their subjects and settlers alike. The federal government has approved $8.5 million under the presidential initiative on afforestation for the afforestation and restoration of degraded forests and other critical landscapes across the country. President Bola Tinubu disclosed this at the first international conference on afforestation and reforestation, which took place in Brazzaville, Congo, from July 2nd to 5th June 2024. Tinubu, who was represented by Minister of Environment Belavare Lawal, said the presidential approval is in addition to other similar programs like the Great Green Wall Pan-African Program and Agro-Climatic Resilience semi-arid landscape being implemented and have resulted in the restoration of over 1.5 million hectares of degraded forests. He also said over 1,428.9 kilometers have been established. The president said more than 200,000 forest community members have been empowered and more than 3 million jobs created for the youth. Federal High Court in Abuja has scheduled judgment for September 18 in its suit seeking the removal of the national chairman of the All Progressive Congress, Alhaji Abdullahi Ganduje. Justice Iyang Ekpo chose a date on Friday after lawyers to parties in the case adopted their written arguments and made final submissions. In his final submission on Thursday, plaintiff's lawyer Benjamin Favor urged the court to hold in his client's favor and grant all the relief sought. Lawyers to the defendant Abdul Adamu for Ganduje, Isiaka for the APC, and Ahmed Mohammed Ainek urged the court to dismiss the suit for being meritorious. The plaintiff in the main suit want the court to, among others, restrain Ganduje from further parading himself as the chair of the APC. Nigeria has emerged victorious in the race to host the headquarters of the $5 billion African Energy Bank after a competitive bidding process. The decision followed a technical inspection team from the African Petroleum Producers Organization and Afrexim Bank, the joint promoters of the AEB, which validated Nigeria's readiness to host the Continental Bank. the Nigerian government to demonstrate its commitment under the leadership of President Bola Tinubu has approved a $100 million investment from 4 agencies of the Ministry of Petroleum Resources. The minimum equity requirement $83.33 million for Class A shares. APO decided to award the hosting rights to Nigeria at an extraordinary meeting of the Council of Ministers. The decision lauded as a significant step for the continent and underscores Nigeria's pivotal role in Africa's energy landscape. Minister of State Petroleum Resources, Heineken Lukbabere, who made this known in Abuja, also expressed his gratitude for the support extended by President Tinubu in Nigeria's bid to hold the bank. Nigeria Civil Aviation Authority has suspended 10 private jet operations over failure to begin the recertification process. This is contained in a statement signed by Mr. Michael Achimugu, Director of Public Affairs and Consumer Protection, on Friday in Abuja. The agency said the Nigerian Civil Aviation and Regulations 2023 Part 18.3.4 bids the Nigerian Regulation Part 83.4 forbids holders of permit for non-commercial flight from using their aircraft for carriage of passengers, cargo or mail for hire or rewards, commercial operation or charter services. The agency added that its officials had been deployed to general aviation terminals and private wings of the airport to monitor activities of the PNCF holders. And now we are moving on to the international tidbits. Rishi Sunak on Friday apologized after his conservatives were trounced by Labour in the UK general election, and he said will step down as party leader. The 44-year-old former financier grumbled on going into the country 6 months before he had to, hoping that better economic data would swing public support back towards the Tories. But Thursday's vote indicated that Britons wanted to send a clear message to the party by kicking them out of power after 14 years of economic hardship, Brexit upheaval and Tory infighting. The scale of the defeat made it inevitable that Sunak, the Conservative Party's 5th leader since 2010, would have to step down as Tory head as well. But he said that he would stay on in the role until the arrangements were made for an internal leadership context, which is expected to be a fight for the ideological soul of the party. Sunak saw a record number of his top ministerial team lose their seat, including Defense Secretary Grant Shapps and House of Commons leader Penny Mordaunt. His immediate predecessor as Prime Minister Liz Truss also lost her seat. Britain's head of state, King Charles III, officially appointed Labour leader Keir Starmer as Prime Minister on Friday during an audience at Buckingham Palace. A photograph released by the palace showed the monarch shaking hands with Starmer, whose party won a landslide election victory. The king earlier accepted the resignation of Conservative leader Rishi Sunak. Keir Starmer became Britain's new Prime Minister as his centre-left opposition Labour Party swept to a landslide general election victory. It ends 14 years of right-wing Conservative rule. Keir Starmer on Friday promised to rebuild Britain as he took office as the UK's new Prime Minister following his centre-left Labour Party's election victory that ended 14 years of Conservative rule. Head of State King Charles III asked Starmer to form a government during a meeting at Buckingham Palace, officially appointing the 61-year-old former human rights lawyer as Prime Minister. Flag-waving crowds of cheering Labour activists lined Downing Street as Starmer arrived as the party's first Prime Minister since Gordon Brown in 2010. Meanwhile, newly elected UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer has made his first set of appointments into the cabinet, BBC report on Friday. This the center-left Labour Party, Labour Party's landslide general election victory that ended 14 years of conservative rule. Starmer arrived as the party's first PM since Gordon Brown in 2010, and he had been asked by King Charles III to form a government during a meeting at Buckingham Palace on Friday. The list includes Angela Rayner, Deputy Prime Minister, Rachel Reeves, Chancellor, David Lammy, Foreign Secretary, Vit Kopa, Home Secretary, John Haley, Defense Secretary, among others. Okay, we are now moving on to the entertainment news. Singapore politician Banky W has announced that he is pursuing a master's degree in policy at Georgetown University in Washington. He shared a video on Instagram showing his achievements. His wife, Adestua Etomi Wellington, and fans have flooded the comment section with congratulatory messages praising his decision to pursue further education. Adeshwar expressed her pride, calling him a true ethical and sharing his academic achievements. Afrobeat singer Ayra has said that Nigeria and the United Kingdom are very much alike. According to her, Nigeria and British cultures are very similar. She said this in a recent interview with Capital Extra London. A star also spoke about her just concluded tour with Chris Brown. The singer said she wished she wrote Better Have My Money by Rihanna and Snooze as a star. She also said she would like to relocate to New York. A former adult film star, Adra English, has accused embattled American rapper Sean Combs, popularly known as Diddy, of trafficking her for sex in a new lawsuit. According to court documents obtained by Tim, English alleged that Diddy groomed her into having sex with guests at his parties, including Jacob Arabov, also known as Jacob the Jailer. She claimed she started off working as a go-go dancer at a party thrown by Diddy in the Hampton during Labor Day weekend in 2004 in a bid to help her boyfriend land a modeling gig for Sean John, but was eventually groomed into sex trafficking. English claims she suffered emotional trauma and intimacy issues since her association with the Bad Boys Entertainment boss came to an end in 2009. She is seeking an unspecified amount in damages. And now the sports news. The Super Eagles of Nigeria will begin their quest for a place at the 2025 Africa Cup of Nations with an away game against Libya. The draw ceremony took place in Johannesburg, South Africa on Thursday, with the Super Eagles drawn in Group D with the North Africans, Benin Republic and Rwanda. Match day 1 and 2 will be played between September 2 and 10. The rest of the qualifiers will be played in October and November. The Super Eagles defeated Libya 3-2 last time both teams met in a 2019 Africa Cup of Nations qualifier. The top two teams and the group will qualify for the 2025 AFCON finals, which will be staged in Morocco. The competition will run between December 21, 2025 and January 18, 2026. Super Falcons head coach Randy Waldrum is positive of a good outing at the 2024 Olympic Games despite his team being drawn in a tough group. The West Africans are in Group C with Brazil. Waldrum unveiled his squad for the women's football events. The Super Falcons made a big impact at the 2023 FIFA Women's World Cup qualifying from a tough group that has reigning Olympic champions Canada and Australia. The American is optimistic his players can repeat their performance in Australia and New Zealand at the Olympics. The Super Falcons will be up against Brazil in their first game at the Stade Docks on July 25 before confrontations with Spain on July 28 and their final group game against Japan on July 31. Ecuador have sacked their head coach Felix Sanchez after their Copa America 2024 exit at the hands of Argentina. Sanchez watched as Argentina defeated Ecuador 4-2 in penalty shootout in the Copa America 2024 quarterfinals on Thursday. The encounter ended in a 1-1 draw after 120 minutes. Ecuador striker Ana Valencia even missed a penalty in the 62 minutes during the encounter. Senior national women's basket team, the Tigers, will play 2 preparatory games against Germany and Puerto Rico before the start of the basketball event